Everyone notices loud love first. It speaks before anyone asks. It promises before anyone needs proof. It calls itself deep, loyal, endless. Many people trust it because it sounds certain. But loud love often loves the feeling of itself. It likes to be seen. It likes to be praised. It likes to hear its own promises. Real love is different. It does not need a crowd. It does not turn care into a show. It does not make fear where peace should be. That is why wise people learn this slowly and painfully. Never trust loud love too quickly. This is an old story from a small village where one young woman almost gave her life to the wrong kind of love. Her name was Lena. She lived with her father and her younger brother in a clay house near the edge of a village. Her mother had died many years before, so the work of the house had long been shared between the three of them. Lena baked bread, carried water, mended clothes, and helped her father in the garden when his hands still had strength. Her brother, Tomas, was small, restless, and always running somewhere he had not been told to go. Their life was simple. Then Lena grew older, and two men began coming near the house. The first was named Rovin. Rovin was handsome, quick with speech, and impossible not to notice. He brought fruit when the trees were bare. He arrived with ribbons, honey cakes, bright cloth, and strong promises. If Lena carried water from the well, he rushed forward to take the bucket from her hands. If other people stood nearby, he spoke even louder. "No woman in this village is as precious as Lena," he would say. Old women smiled. Children laughed. Men at the well nodded as if such words were proof of a good heart. Rovin liked all of that. He liked being seen near her. He liked saying beautiful things where others could hear them. He liked looking like a man in love. The second man was named Marek. Marek lived with his widowed aunt in a small house beyond the fields. He was not poor, but he had no fine clothes, no bright gifts, and no easy charm. He worked with wood. He repaired doors, fences, stools, and wagon wheels. His words were few, and when he spoke, he sounded as if he had no wish to impress anyone. He never came with ribbons. He never called Lena beautiful in front of the village. But when her father's gate began to lean, Marek stopped one morning, set it straight, and said only, "It will hold now." When the roof above the back room leaked after rain, he returned at dawn with dry straw and fresh boards. When Lena's father dropped a sack of grain because his wrists had grown weak, Marek lifted it without speaking and carried it inside. He never stepped into the house unless invited. He never stayed longer than needed. Lena noticed his kindness, but it did not shine the way Rovin's love shone. Rovin made her feel chosen. Marek made her feel helped. And when a young heart has not yet learned the difference, it often trusts the louder thing. So Lena began leaning toward Rovin. The village expected it. Her father worried about it, though he said little. Tomas disliked Rovin at once, but no one listened to boys who still chased geese for fun. At first, everything seemed sweet. Rovin came often. He talked of the house he would build one day. He said Lena would never carry water again. He said her hands were too fine for hard work. He promised her ease, admiration, safety. That word came again and again. Safety. "If you marry me," he said, "I will watch over everything." Lena wanted to believe him. But after some time, small things began to trouble her. Rovin disliked Marek coming near the house, even for repairs. "He finds many reasons to appear here," he said one evening. "He comes because something is broken," Lena answered. Rovin smiled, but only with his mouth. A man does not mend another man's fence so often without hoping for something. Lena did not argue. The words stayed in her mind. After that, when Marek passed by, she became more careful. She thanked him more quickly. She spoke less. She did not ask him to sit and drink water in the yard, even when the day was hot. Marek seemed to understand. He only nodded and kept a respectful distance. Rovin, meanwhile, grew more certain. He liked to decide little things. Which path Lena should take to market. Which neighbors were worth her time. Which days she should stay home instead of going to the river with other women. Each choice came wrapped in concern. I know the village better than you think. I only want to protect you. The world is not gentle. His tone was never harsh. That made it harder to refuse. Still, whenever Rovin left, Lena felt tired in a way she could not explain. Whenever Marek left after repairing something, the house felt calm. She noticed this, but she did not yet understand it. Then the day came when everything became clear. It was late afternoon. Lena had gone to the well. Her father was resting inside. Thomas had been playing in the yard with a carved wooden boat Marek had once made for him. When Lena returned, the boat lay near the step. Thomas was gone. At first she thought he had run to the road, then to the neighbor's hens, then to the little field behind the house. He was nowhere. Her father rose too quickly and nearly fell. Lena called his name. No answer. A child could disappear quickly near the river. The bank was uneven there, and reeds grew thick near the bend. Fear entered the house like winter air. Someone sent for Rovin, because he was the man everyone first thought of when noise was needed. He arrived fast and full of command. He shouted Thomas's name from the yard. He ordered one boy to run toward the road and another toward the market. He demanded to know who had been watching him. He blamed Lena for leaving the house. He blamed her father for sleeping. He blamed the neighbors for seeing nothing. Within minutes, the place was full of movement and empty of help. Rovin shouted near the gate. He shouted by the shed. He shouted into the fields as if loudness itself might bring the child back. Lena stood frozen, listening to his voice strike everything but the truth. Then Marek appeared. He had been repairing a cart 2 houses away. Someone had told him the boy was missing. He did not ask 10 questions. He did not give 10 orders. He looked once at the ground near the step, then at the little wooden boat, then toward the narrow path by the reeds. Thomas took this boat everywhere, he said quietly. Lena stared at him. Yes. Marek nodded once. He went to the river. Rovin turned sharply. We have already called toward the river. Marek did not answer him. He crouched near the step and touched the dirt. Small marks ran toward the side path, light feet. One dragged line where the toy boat had bounced against the ground. Then he stood. Stay here, he said to Lena's father. If the boy comes back, he must find you. There was no force in his voice. Yet everyone listened. Marek took the narrow path and disappeared into the reeds. Rovin kept shouting. For the first time, his voice sounded useless. The moments stretched. Lena felt each one. Then, from beyond the bend, she heard something that was not panic. A child crying once. A man speaking low, steps returning through the grass. Marek came back carrying Thomas on his shoulder. The boy was wet to the knees and trembling, but safe. He had slipped near the muddy edge and been too frightened to climb back through the reeds. He had not fallen into deep water. He had only become trapped in fear. Lena ran to him and held him so tightly that he began crying again, this time from relief. Her father covered his face with both hands. No one in the yard spoke. Rovin tried to recover himself first. You should have said where you were taking him, he told Marek. Marek looked at him calmly. I went where the child had gone. Nothing more. No boasting. No lesson. No speech about what he had done. Then he set Thomas down gently and checked the scrape on the boy's leg. That was when Lena finally saw the whole truth. One man had filled the yard with fear and called it care. The other had brought the child back and hardly spoken. Her eyes moved from Rovin to Marek, and the difference between loud love and real love became too clear to ignore. Rovin loved being the center of every moment. Marek cared about who needed help. Rovin wanted to be seen saving. Marek wanted the child safe. Rovin's love made the air tight. Marek's care made breathing easy. A few days later, Rovin came with flowers and explanations. He said fear had made him harsh. He said love had made him wild. He said that only a man who truly cared could burn so hot. Lena listened quietly. Then she handed the flowers back. "What is loud is not always deep," she said. "And what is calm is not always small." Rovin tried to speak again, but she was already closing the gate. She did not marry him. Time passed. Her father's hands grew weaker, and Marek came when things needed mending, always asking before entering, always leaving space where others might have taken it. Tomas followed him everywhere after that, carrying wood shavings in his pockets and asking endless questions about tools. Love did not come with music. It came with steadiness. It came with a man who noticed what was needed without turning it into a performance. It came with peace. Many people still make Lena's first mistake. They trust the voice that promises most. They follow the person who speaks with the greatest heat. They think loud love must be true because it feels large. But real love is not proved by noise. It is proved by what remains when fear enters the room. Does the other person make peace or make panic? Do they protect your spirit or take control of it? Do they calm what is fragile or make everything revolve around themselves? Never trust loud love too quickly. A voice can be warm and still be false. A promise can be bright and still be empty. Look instead for the love that does not need to be displayed. The love that leaves room. The love that brings steadiness. The love that helps without making a show of helping. That kind of love may not be the first one everyone notices. But when life becomes difficult, it is the one that knows the right path home.